want to talk to you about God's simple plan of salvation. There is a simple presentation of the gospel called the Romans Road of Salvation. It is one of many popular means in sharing the gospel, and it consists of verses taken from the book of Romans. On the Roman road, there are several important stops. I'm going to read this one. As it is written, there is none righteous, no, not you. No, I said, no, not one. God is just trying to tell us, according to our flesh, we find ourselves being unfaithful almost every day. We fall away from God, and so we have to look for his righteousness. I have a simple multi-choice theological quiz for you today. How good do you have to be to go to heaven? How good do you have to be to go to heaven? I got A to D here. A, B, C, D, multiple choice. Choose ye this day. A is pretty good. B is really good. C is better than Brother John. D is perfect. Choose. The answer, amen, is D. If you want to go to heaven, you have to be perfect. And I don't mean sort of perfect, mostly perfect, or even 99% perfect. Being 99% perfect is like being just a little pregnant. Either you're pregnant or you're not. Either you're perfect or you're not. The reality in all this is that 99.9% of the world say that the answer is A, B, or C. Though most may say it's A, and let's look at A again, pretty good. If I'm pretty good based on the scale of goodness, surely I can go to heaven. And most people are quick to compare themselves to Brother John or Sister Mary or those annoying neighbors at their apartment complex. Though usually we only compare ourselves to someone we think isn't as good as we are. I don't know what that is, but it's very easy to compare yourselves to a gangbanger, a murderer, a thief, a liar that lies a lot. You compare yourself and you always think of someone that's not as good as you. God's standard is absolute perfection in thought and word and in deed, 100% all the time. That's obeying the law and trying to be righteous by obeying the law. That means we are left with only two options if we want to go to heaven. We got to be perfect, or we got to believe in Jesus as being the perfect sacrifice. Even if you could stop today and never sin again, you think that it's going to cover something. Future obedience cannot overcome past disobedience. You can never do enough in the future to cover what you did in the past. The results of living by the law is guaranteed frustration. The harder we try, the more we fail. But most of us can't even get out of bed without committing a sin. We fall before we even get to work, and that's just one day. Can you imagine? Right when you start driving, some of you couldn't even make it to church without fussing at somebody that was, pulled up in front of you or didn't do right, or kids didn't get up when you told them to, making too much noise in the back seat. Something causes us to get out of order. It is impossible to be saved by keeping the law. Some people might say yes, But there is only one catch, and it is a very important catch. In order to be saved by keeping the law, you must keep it perfectly in thought and word and in deed 100% of the time, from the moment of understanding till the moment of death. If any one point in your life, say 30 to 90 years of living, ever for even just a microsecond, you should fall short of God's standard of perfection, then you have blown it completely. You can't get in. You can't be saved by keeping the law, but because it demands something that we are unable to give: perfect obedience. Either you keep all the law all the time, or you'll never get to heaven by keeping the law. It's a simple pass or fail. Keep the law perfectly 100% of the time, and you go to heaven. Mess up just once, and you go to hell. That doesn't leave any margin for error. Righteousness, I believe, is a gift. It's achieved by grace, not by works. This is why God sent his only begotten Son. John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. We have to give them the simple gospel. And the simple gospel is you can't make it in by being good. God demands perfection. And the only way that you can be perfect is through Jesus Christ. So are you ready to be perfect? And so you have to tell them, let's get perfect. You want to be perfect? Serve the Lord. Commit yourself to him and let him wash you with his blood. I'm telling you guys.
I'm covered by grace. I'm covered by grace. I'm covered by grace. I'm covered by